Hello, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Podcast. And today we have a very special guest. How do you pronounce your name? Timo?
Timo Kaarkoski.
Oh, I love that name. I won't be able to pronounce the last name. I'm not even going to try.
Just stick with Timo.
People normally don't. Yeah. It's actually, even in Finland, it's kind of unusual. I think there's like 30 people with the same last name anyway, so it's really, really unusual.
It's all right. My last name's unusual for the States. My last name is Usenick. We're the only family that has it, so I understand that. So you guys have a comeback single that you guys just released not too long ago, S.O.S.
Yes.
Did you want to discuss the meaning of the song, the meaning of the music video?
Yeah. I think we started doing that actually when the pandemic started. We were supposed to go on tour. We had like 70 shows booked, and we managed to do about first 5 or 6, and then the world stopped, and everybody got fucked up, and we got locked in our home. Everybody got depressed, and with no hope for the future. Everything is fucked. Nothing can ever happen again. And then I think we were like 2 or 3 months just staying at home, and then we decided, oh fuck it, we're gonna continue and let's start writing more songs. We won't be touring this year or maybe even the next year, so we have time to write more songs. And we decided to not be depressed and write songs about that even how depressed you get. Eventually, there's always light in the end of the tunnel, and life goes on, and you just keep fighting, just keep working, keep moving on, and life will get better eventually. Man, it did. Pandemic finished, and life goes on. The bands are still rolling, and they're still here.
Yeah, that's the main part, though. You got to turn your upset into art, and that's why I love talking to musicians, because you guys are the best at that.
Yes.
you guys released 2 singles there this year, didn't you? Tide as well?
Yes.
So you've been busy. You also have a new album coming out.
Oh, yeah, we have the whole album ready. I think we're going to most likely release it, I think, about somewhere in about March next year. And hopefully after that we manage to finally get the band back touring again after all this shit.
I can't wait for you guys to get back on the road, because a lot of bands, it's been hard to get back out there. Yeah,
it's getting, and it's expensive now. It's really expensive now, but you gotta get back there. That's why we're in the band. That's what rock and roll is all about. You can't just play, and it's for playing in the studio and doing videos and stuff. It's nice, but playing live, that's what rock and roll is all about. That's why we are in the band. So that's what we want to get back to doing as soon as possible.
So what inspired the music video, though, for S.O.S. besides the pandemic? Like,
I think the video, the actual video. I think it's a continuation of the idea of the how you can overcome depression. That you feel depressed and you still manage to get over. That the depression is mostly it's in your head. You work on it and you manage to overcome it. And like I said, there's the light in the end of the tunnel, and you're gonna manage to get through it if you really really work hard on it. And there's hope for the future.
It's a killer video, and you guys have quite the original sound. Me and Gorak was discussing that before you joined us.
Cool.
Like you guys are doing an amazing job. I did listen to some of your stuff before your comeback. We're not going to get into any of the controversy or anything.
Yeah.
But you guys have really evolved.
Yeah. We tried to do something slightly more modern this time, because the world changes. The music is getting more modern, and when you listen to the older bands, most of the people the old bands are retiring soon, and the younger kids these days they don't want to listen to old music. They want to listen to something more modern. And us, all of us, we are old musicians, so we are listening to music from 60s, 70s, 80s, and during the pandemic we had lots of free time to start listening to pay more attention to what the people are listening to these days. So we started getting more into more modern music, like Five Finger Death Punch, which it's not that new band anymore, of course, but for us, that's new kind of music. And then we started thinking, what about if we try to do something, try to get some sound-wise, get some kind of influence from these new guys. and mix old style heavy metal with some new modern influence and see what comes up, and still keep it heavy and melodic. And I think most of the newer things that I'm talking about, I think it's more into keyboard sounds. We got lots of more modern keyboard sounds in the album, and to make it sound more like not sound like we're into 1980 yet. Try to sound like we are in 2022, right?
See, I love it because you're talking about the 80s bands, and I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah. That's what I grew up on listening to.
With a lot of the older bands, though, it's kind of hard because you evolve your sound, and either A, fans will love it, or B, something will happen like what would happen with Motley Crue in '94. They released that '94 album with a new singer, and people either loved it or they absolutely hated it.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a huge risk.
Right, and I honestly adore when bands change up because you got to modernize yourself a little bit. Yeah. You can't just keep writing the same riffs with different lyrics and hope it works.
It worked for AC/DC, but not everybody is AC/DC. So.
Hey, AC/DC changed one note every now and again.
Different chord processions.
Yeah, didn't Motorhead do that too occasionally? They would write the same riff over and over.
Yeah.
So when do we expect another single though from you guys? Because I know you guys have a whole album that you've been writing and working on.
Yeah, I think we are most likely. Actually, we did one cover of one old song of Johnny Cash because we had nothing else to do. So we decided to do a few covers. So I think we're gonna most likely we're gonna release it still this year before Christmas. It's all. I think we already done the mixing of everything. It's just the master, and most likely we're gonna put that out still this year. And then I'm not sure if maybe in January, February we're gonna put one more new song of the new album, and then like I said, most likely around March the whole album is out, and then everybody get to listen to the whole thing everywhere.
We're gonna get a Christmas present.
Oh yeah.
And the album. My birthday's April, so I'm gonna get an early birthday present too.
That's cool.
So, is there going to be a music video too, accompanying Tide? Yeah,
we are thinking about how we're going to do this. And we have lots of weird plans to take the band to somewhere into the Amazonas River, and do it somewhere in the middle of nothing with the Indians. And we have lots of plans, and let's see how things work out. And we always try to do something different, not like not do the same thing all over again. Like you just. I like kind of videos where you have just a band playing on stage and beautiful kind of fake live video. It looks good, but everybody does that. So we try to do something slightly different. Try to keep it interesting, especially this because when you put the video on YouTube, unless the people it gets the attention of the people in the first 10 seconds, they're gonna just skip it and go to the next video. So you have to get something that they get their interest in 10 seconds. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, you got to be different because people have short attention spans anymore.
Yeah.
So are you guys like, your music is very like Viking style, it seems, like the videos. So would you guys classify yourselves as like Viking metal or rock, or do you just have Viking undertones?
I think the Viking theme mostly came with me because the band is everybody's Brazilian except for me. So when I joined the band some 8 years ago, they started thinking that we can slightly change the band, the direction to sound more Brazilian, sound more European, because to make it be something slightly different from others. That because everybody's when you're in Brazil, when you do metal in Brazil, the bands tend to sound more Brazilian. So if they try to do something European, it's gonna sound wrong unless there's actually some European doing it. So. I think I brought some kind of European influences to the band, mainly because in Finland we study a lot of music, and in Finland it's the winter is cold and dark, so there's nothing to do in the winter. You come home at 4 p.m. it's dark and snow everywhere, so you just play, and you know, so everybody plays a lot and listens to a lot of music. So I think I brought that kind of dark influence to the Brazilian happy people.
I love it. So how does the songwriting process work? Do you guys all work together? Is there like a main songwriter of the band, or?
We both ways. There's few songs that maybe one or two of the guys did basically most of the part by themselves, but most of the things happen so that somebody brings the one guitar riff for one part of the melody, or some drums or something, or lyrics or something, and we join together in the studio and start jamming and just see what we manage to do it. And we record a lot of stuff because we have our own recording studio, so we do a lot of demos. So everything we want to try, we record it, and then we start listening and see what we can change and keep changing until we eventually get happy with that. But it's basically it's a you know in a kind of old school process. And like I mean, in the old school, you wouldn't keep recording so much because it's expensive. So you would just keep playing and playing. But basically, we do everything together. We join the band together in the studio, and you know, just join everybody's ideas until everybody's happy with the result.
It's weird how expensive it is to record music.
Yes. Especially considering that nobody buys CDs these days anymore.
Right, like
except me.
You'd think it'd be cheaper to record nowadays because you don't have to worry about printing CDs or anything.
Yeah, but no. Still damn expensive.
I saw that even though people aren't buying very many CDs, which I admit, to support bands, I will buy CDs.
Yeah.
But vinyls are making a comeback and have been in the last few years.
Yes.
That's
kind of awesome.
It's kind of weird because you'd think we'd start bringing stuff back in order. Like we'd slowly work our way back. Like we'd bring back cassettes, maybe CDs, and then vinyls, and then 8-tracks. No, we went straight to vinyls.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on releasing any of your music on vinyls, or would that just be too expensive?
We did actually the last album, the last two albums we did small. I think we had like few hundred copies of the vinyl, and we sold everything, so people really bought them. But most of what we sold on the show. So as soon as we get back to doing shows, that's where we're gonna start selling. So the new album, of course, because we are planning to do some small print also of the album. There will be vinyl as well.
Do you guys have to do it? Do you guys have plans on coming to the States during that tour?
Definitely. The USA is something we never played there before. You know, we've been to Europe maybe 5-6 times, but the USA, the closest we got there to play there, we played in the cruise ship from Miami to Bahamas. In the last cruise of Motorhead, we played there. So that's the closest we got to playing it. But that was not technically in US soil, so we didn't play in USA. But you know, that's something we really want to do someday. You know, I personally come to like once or twice a year for holidays, but you know, I want to play there now. You know, I'm coming there actually next month. I'm going there again for the end of the year. We did the same thing. Now we fly to Los Angeles, rent a car, start driving, and see where we end up, and do a traditional road trip. But you know, I really want to do that with the band.
I would love to
something awesome.
I'd love to see you guys live, but did you just say you played with Motorhead?
Yeah, we played the Motorhead cruise, the last one, where before Lemmy died. That has Motorhead, Anthrax, Slayer, lots of heavy bands. So we played there also in the ship.
Did you get to meet Lemmy?
Yes, actually, a friend of ours who used to even work with us, drum tech. He's the drum tech of Mickey D, the drummer. So he used to tour with Motorhead. So he introduced us to the guys, and he's touring with Scorpions because he's still the drum tech for Mickey D, and you know, his drum tech is Brazilian.
What was it like meeting Lemmy? Was it like a short meeting, or did you get to actually hang out with him, or what was that like?
That's a short meeting. I actually met him a few times earlier, some years ago in Finland in the shows, but you know, he seems to be he's always seemed like a calm guy, but you know, of course I can't say that I know him, but I met him a few times, and you know, it's really great feeling to, you know, have met somebody you really admire. You know, I've been listening to Motorhead since I was, I don't know, maybe 12 years old.
That is awesome, dude. Because Lemmy he's like God tier when it comes to rock and roll. Like they call Elvis Presley the king of rock, but then Motorhead came around.
Yes.
Like Lemmy was
a lot as well.
What's weird about Lemmy is, and I'm sorry that we're not getting into your music, bud, but that's how the show works. So if you want to promote more stuff, we can. But Lemmy was one of those guys where, like, he was always known for getting drunk, getting high, partying and shit, but he has no controversies. He was never unprofessional on stage. And was always polite.
Yes.
And it's really interesting because, like, as much as he got, pardon my French, but as much as he got fucked up, he never showed it.
Yes, exactly.
Like
that's awesome. That's real professionalism.
Yeah, like he's complete professional.
Yeah.
By the way, bud, before we really dive into conversation, because this show is more of a conversational than just an interview, is there a time limit for you today?
No. I have next interview like in 5 hours, so I have 5 hours time. So
okay, we'll Joe Rogan this. We'll talk for 5 hours. No, I'm just kidding. See, I love talking about music, horror, sci-fi. So we're just gonna talk until we can't talk anymore.
Cool.
So it's like Motorhead, though. Like Lemmy was that way until he died. That's the crazy part. He was diagnosed with cancer, and they told him, you should stop drinking. And he's like, I'll eat it. I'll do a healthier diet. And he quit drinking Jack and Coke, but he started drinking orange juice and vodka. He's like, I'll drop one for the other. So with Def Leppard, getting back on that topic, did you ever get to see them in concert?
Yes. They played a few times. Actually, the first time I saw them was in 1981 or 82 in Finland. They were opening the show of Rainbow. They were the opening band back then. And then at the second time, I think they was in the Hysteria tour. They played in Finland also. And so then there was that was really, really awesome times. And then a few years back, I went to San Francisco to see them. I saw them. They played with Styx and I think Tesla, somewhere in San Francisco. That was really cool. And
you saw them with Rainbow. That was when Dio was in the band then.
No, that was all. He already had left. It was the first tour with he had just left. It was Graham Bonnet yet, already in the band. So
still
I would have loved to see. Yeah, I would have loved to see Rainbow with Ronnie James Dio. But
did you ever have the honor of seeing any bands with Ronnie James Dio?
I actually saw the first tour of Ronnie James Dio. In 1983, he came to Finland already that time.
Oh, damn, that's awesome.
I was
that's actually kind of unusual because that time not so many bands came to Finland, because in Finland the problem is always that for bands who are touring Europe to come to Finland, they need to take a ship. So to make one show in Finland, they're gonna waste 3 days. They're gonna need 1 day to come from Sweden on a ship to Finland, 1 day to make a show, and 3rd day to come back to Sweden. So it has to be really worth of going there, because at that time nobody, of course, went to Russia. So Finland was never on the way. Finland was there, lost there in the middle of nothing. So most bands stopped their tour on Sweden and then back to Germany.
Well, history kind of repeats itself, because not a lot of people go to Russia now.
Yeah. so now Finland is fucked again. No bands don't want to go there anymore because it gets expensive, because they're gonna lose the 2 days of traveling, extra days of traveling, because we have the ocean between Finland and Sweden.
Damn. But it's cool the bands you did get to see. Like you got to see Dio. I was supposed to see him with Heaven and Hell, and I'm like, oh, I'll just see him next tour, and he ended up dying.
Yeah, same.
And I'm like, the hell.
I regret that too, by the way.
So what is your dream band to open for? Like, who would you want to be on a big bill with?
Big bill, musically, Iron Maiden would be awesome. You know, mainly because there's always going to be a huge crowd. So that would be really awesome. I think musically it was kind of matched the band. You know, I could say something like Metallica, but I would say musically it wouldn't match with Armored Dawn at all. So that wouldn't work out so well anyway. So I'd say Iron Maiden, that would be cool, but there's lots of bands that I'd like to tour with. Would be like Deep Purple, because that's one band that I've been listening to since I was 5. I actually started listening to rock music when I was 5 years old. I never got into the thing of listening to happy songs for the kids. When I was 5, I was listening to Cream and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple.
Damn, dude! Like Iron Maiden puts on like the best concert I've ever seen. So that'd be that'd be a hell.
Yeah.
But you said Metallica doesn't mesh well with you guys, but I'd like to argue that, because there's a lot of concerts I've seen that meshed a lot worse than that. And
that might be.
And you guys are kind of like, Metallica was heavier earlier on than you guys.
Yeah.
Nowadays you guys would mesh better, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that might be as well. Yeah.
But the thing is, I've seen a festival one time that had Snoop Dogg and Slayer on the same bill. Could you imagine Could you imagine that mosh pit, bro?
Yeah.
Snoop.
That actually happens a lot in Europe. There's lots of festivals that are not just like metal festivals. So they actually mix lots of different bands. There are lots of pop bands with heavy metal bands in the same festival. So that happens there a lot.
Yeah, this was a European festival.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the United States is slowly starting to do that, because I've seen Machine Gun Kelly opening for Alice in Chains before. That was kind of weird. But that happened in Europe for years before the America started. Like, Europeans are like, we don't give a shit. We just want people in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine explaining that, though? What kind of festival are you running? Yes. That's what we're going to have Grateful Dead opening for Metallica. What? So
I think it works that way, because they think that if there's people see it that way, that while there's some band playing that I don't like, I just go there behind and get drunk while the other shit is playing. Then when I come back, when there's something I want to see, I stop drinking, I come back. So it's a huge area. Yes, festivals are always in some huge area. So you go far to your tent, something, get drunk, or to the bar, and then you come back to see the bands when there's something you want to see. So it works that way.
Or there's like 2 of your favorite bands playing on at the same time.
That sucks. That sucks. Oh, yeah.
That happened to me once. I was at a festival, and I believe it was Bullet for My Valentine on one stage, playing at the same time as Megadeth.
Ah, that sucks.
Fuck that.
and I'm like, and at that time, I'm like, I've seen Bullet before, and I'm not missing Megadeths, because they're a lot bigger than Bullet. I can see Bullet whenever. Who knows when Dave's going to finally hang it up? Let's go. Let's go.
It happened exactly the same with at a music festival. Because I'm from Australia. We used to have a music festival called Soundwave Festival. So it's like a alternative punk and metal festival. Mm-hmm. One year, Slipknot was playing at the same time when Machine Head was playing. And I'm like, I caught Slipknot for like the last 45 seconds and then ran over to the other side to watch Machine Head play. Right.
So you said you're getting into more... I'm sorry to interrupt you. I get random questions in my head and stuff. So what are some of the modern bands that you really enjoy listening to? You said that you've been getting into modern music. Yeah.
To me, more modern music, I really like Fighting a Death Punch. I really got into that one, Because before that, to me, the more modern music was like Dream Theater, that's like, I don't know, 30 years old. To me, the modern music was from the 90s. So.
That's like I heard a comedian say one time. He's like, I'm very bad at keeping up with modern stuff because half of the up and coming young artists are older or as old as me.
Didn't the singer say from Fighting a Death Punch was saying that he wasn't going to tour anymore? Well,
he announced his retirement, and now they're opening for Metallica.
Yeah. So maybe now he won't anymore.
Yeah, he said he's not anymore. I'm like,
so what do you? He's actually planning on going to country, I guess. is what the official announcement was. What do you think of musicians leaving metal for country? Because that happens a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that people retire and come back and retire and come back, and it's nothing new. I think I still have a VHS live show from The Who. I think it's 1982, the final tour of The Who.
I see it as a money grab thing.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah,
I have a buddy. He has every single Kiss final tour shirt that they've ever done.
But it had to be from different eras of the band, though.
It was because they did their final tour, I think, in '92. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this because McVeigh is going to be like, they only did it once. But he has like a final tour from 90 something with the original lineup, and then they got back together again and then broke up, and before too long there's only going to be one guy left.
That's a big one. I think they're all going to retire and they're going to put new guys there to do more final tours for forever.
Yeah, they're just going to keep replacing them with new members. You wouldn't know who they are.
What do you think of bands, though, that do what Pantera did? They leave for like 20 years. The only two original songwriters are dead, and they come back.
Yeah, I think it's, if they really just do one tour and, just like, just for the memory of the band and leave it there, that's cool. But if they're gonna, let's continue the band, let's write more material, and let's start the band over, then that's too much for me. Then it's just for the money,
See, I'm all for that because, like, honor the memory of the Abbott brothers, the two guys that wrote all the music. But if you're going to continue writing music, change the name of the band.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to do it in memory of the Abbott brothers, change the name to a Pantera song.
Yeah.
Like, change the band name to Cowboys from Hell or something. Like, don't keep the name Pantera after one final tour. That's like Static X. They're touring without Wayne, but in their defense, they are releasing new music, but it's unreleased material that Wayne sung on.
It's unreleased and new material.
It is new, but it's also, they use Wayne's vocals.
No, some of the tracks that was on the last album was Wayne's material, and the other stuff was written by the singer from Dope.
Yeah, but wasn't Wayne singing on all those tracks though? At least some.
Most of them, yeah. But apparently they're going to be releasing a volume 2, which is still a mixture of some unreleased material, but majority of it will be written by the new guy.
There's a modern band for you. They're like 20-something years old. I'll get you caught up. Static X. Ever listen to them?
Good band.
Ever listen to them, bro?
Yeah.
They're really good. Evil Disco is what they call them.
Yeah. That's cool.
They're fucking killer. I'll give you a list of modern bands if you want.
Cool. It's good to update what's happening in the world.
Yeah, I'll give you any band from 1989 to now. I do have a band that's in the States. They're a national touring act that I'm friends with that they're really good too. Their name's Neverwake. If you should check
that I didn't know yet. Yeah, that I'm gonna check out.
Bro, I'm the guy to come to for modern music because I listen to. Do you just listen to metal and rock, or do you adventure into other genres?
No, actually, but in the same day I can listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, James Brown, Slayer,
and
Zeppelin, and everything. Good music, it's good music, independent how soft or heavy it's played.
I agree to that.
You're my kind of people.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be driving through the car, driving in my car, and I'll have somebody in the passenger seat, and I'll have my music on shuffle, and they'll be so damn confused because, like, Lamb of God will play and then Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And I have to explain to them how that works.
It's your mood.
I'm like, it's a whole mood. It's a whole damn mood. But your next single that you plan on releasing, do you have a title for it, or are you just playing it by ear for now?
Not that we are still thinking which one we're gonna put out. So we're still considering what we're gonna put out from there.
So you said that new album's gonna come out in March, right? More than likely.
Yeah.
We need to bring you back on once the album's officially released.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Because I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, then we most likely gonna have some tour dates also to.
Yeah.
Hopefully American tour dates. So.
That's what I was thinking. I'd love to have you back on because we always like having guests back on. We even bring them on for not interview segments, just talk about music and stuff. So
yeah.
You're more than welcome back on the show whenever you're free to talk about your actual album. Cool.
As soon as it's out, we're gonna continue talking and.
You're gonna be like a regular guest. We're gonna have you because I love talking. I can talk your head off.
Yeah.
One time we were talking with a buddy of mine on here, bro, and we were talking for like damn near 3 hours because we dove into Star Wars, and that's a nerdology that you don't want to get into with me.
It was like, I wouldn't say 3 hours. It was like close to 2 hours, though.
Yeah, well, no, with David Rattenberry, we were on here for like.
Oh, David Rattenberry. I thought you were talking about Eric. Sorry.
No. So are you into like horror movies and sci-fi movies?
I used to be more when I was younger, but not nowadays. I actually hardly ever watch even TV. I mostly just play when I'm at home, or actually what's documentaries of like anything. I like documentaries of like airplane accidents, serial killers, and all that kind of stuff. But not like movies.
Dude, that is awesome because I'm not into plane crashes. I don't know what that is, but I'm into horror movies. Horror movie, but serial killer documentaries.
Yeah.
So, like, did you watch the new Dahmer series on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna spoil it.
Educational.
It's
pretty crazy shit, man.
It's crazy, but if you watch, there's another one on there called the Dahmer tapes.
Yeah.
It's more factual to what happened in real life, and I think it's creepier because you have the actual guy sitting there talking to you about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. The only thing I hate is they didn't ask the victim's permission.
Yeah,
that they should do. That's wrong.
That's awful. Who's the most fascinating serial killer in your eyes? Like, which one do you always go to learn about? Okay.
Nothing specific comes to mind. No, nothing specific comes to mind. It's just always fascinating to see and think about more the psychological part of what makes anybody become like this, because nobody's born to be Nobody was born to be serial killer. You always start thinking about what happened in their minds. What the hell happened to their heads to become what they are. That's the interesting part. To start studying the psychology of the thing. That what the hell happens in the mind of the people to become serial killer or whatever happens.
I think it's fascinating.
How they turn into the dark side.
I think that's why I enjoy watching them, because what drives you to that point? Because it has to be severe trauma.
Yeah.
But then you have
it can happen to anybody,
Then
basically.
you have the documentaries, though, where the people are like, oh, they had a perfect childhood. Like, what caused them to do it?
Exactly.
Then you end up down this rabbit hole of, like, figuring out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
It's all in their mind.
Like, I think some people are just born with a fucked up head.
It's a big possibility also.
Like mental health problems and all kinds of crazy shit like that. And it's just, it's nuts.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? But I don't want to hold you up too much longer because I'm still fighting off a cold anyway. And Grax, he lives in Australia, okay? This man wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning to do this shit. He is dedicated.
He's a hero.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I tell guys, because I'm a chef, so I work long hours. So, like, I do this, then go to work. And it's just like, how the fuck do you do it? I'm like, I I just do it.
For everybody listening, by the way, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also go check out Armored Dawn. Yeah, follow this guy. Armored Dawn, all the links are going to be in the description below. So everywhere that you can find them, where the single's at, everything is going to be in the description below once this airs.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you wanted to promote before we let you go? Because we're going to have a lot more to talk about down the line when we have you back on.
Actually, I could promote, not myself, not the band, promote generally live music. Listen to these people. All the good old bands that you love today, they are getting old. So in some 5-10 years, all of them are gonna either retire or be dead. The next Metallica, the next Iron Man is somewhere out there. It's gonna be playing in some small rock bar today, close to you. You have to go out there. You have to find them, because without your support, they're never gonna get out of the bars. You know, the next big thing is out there. Somebody has to get them out of there. You have to find them. Remember, Metallica, Iron Man, everybody started from those really small places. You know, the future is out there. You have to find it. Go out there, support local bands.
That was beautifully said, bro. Because a lot of people don't realize they keep claiming there's no good music anymore. I'm like, people claim that back then. You have to find it. Exactly.
The good music is out there somewhere. You have to find it. They don't have money to promote themselves.
Every era had what people considered shit music. You have to dig through what you consider not good music. Art's subjective. I'm not going to say one band or another. But what you consider good, you have to find. You can't just be in that old mindset of, I'm just going to listen to these 3 bands.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I thank God for, like, social media as well, like Instagram and YouTube. You know, Instagram, I've discovered a lot of, you know, new bands through Instagram now as well. Yeah. And over the years, Spotify is good too. You know, if it comes up as music recommendations from a band.
Yeah.
There's so many good music out there. You could guys.
I know Spotify doesn't pay well. So if you're going to help these artists, go on their websites, buy their merchandise, especially Armored Dawn. Go buy their merch, because Spotify don't pay well. But to find these bands, Spotify's a great source to use.
Exactly.
They're a really good source.
Go to their shows. That's where that's where the real support is. You know, buy CDs, buy T-shirts. Go to see the bands. That's the really that's the best thing you can do. That's what they need. Everybody needs that. That's the only way to keep the rock and roll music alive.
I heard an interview with Gary Holt, and he's in Slayer and Exodus. He said that we're just traveling T-shirt salesmen that just play music, because you make most of your money off of the merch.
Yes, exactly.
Well, not many people are buying records these days now because it's on streaming platforms.
So you got to buy T-shirts.
I'm like that now. And I've always have been for the last couple of years. I kind of stopped buying CDs, but I still support the artists of the band by buying the merch and going to their shows and just listening to their stuff on Spotify and stuff like that.
See, listening on Spotify is not a bad thing, but please, if you've got the money, if you don't feel bad, but if you've got the money, buy the merch if you're not going to pay for the music itself. Help and support in some way, or even just go to the show.
Yes, exactly. Well, when the musician goes to the store to buy bread and milk, it has the exactly same price that for everybody else. You know, musicians have bills to pay also.
Yeah, 100%.
Being a musician is just as hard, if not harder, than a job than your normal 9 to 5. So go support them and help pay for it. That's the thing that makes me upset about any type of art. People expect art for free if they know you or if they whatever. No, support your friends like you would your major artists or your major companies.
Exactly.
Like, goddamn.
It's not that hard. People just don't do it. That's all.
It's not that hard. And like, I'll admit, I was guilty for the longest time of just listening to mainstream. But there's a lot of bands that are better than the modern mainstream artists. A lot of them. That's why I love doing this podcast, because I learn about great bands like Armored Dawn.
Yeah.
Like, killer bands. So go follow Armored Dawn, everyone. And if there's nothing else you wanted to promote, I'm probably going to cut this one short because I've just not been feeling the greatest. I know Gorak's probably about ready to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I'm all right for now.
Cool.
I'm all right for now. Is there any final closing words? Because you're a very inspirational guy, I've noticed. Is there any final words of inspiration you want to leave our listeners with?
Final words. What could I say? Go out there, listen to music, go to shows, rock on, and never give up, never give in. You know, don't give up. Metal up your ass, and keep listening to rock and roll forever.
Fuck yeah! And with that,
It's been a while since I heard anyone say that.
That needs to be on a T-shirt. Everyone, as always, live long, rock hard. Love y'all. Don't forget.